Hey guys and gals, and welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect 3, here in the middle of the Omega DLC. Yeah, I think we're about halfway through this DLC, and things have gotten a little bit worse here since we last started recording. Not where we left off, but last time I started recording, we had a whole hangar we had access to, which is now behind a blast screen of some sort, so methinks our situation is a little dire right now. Hold on. Let's see.
Access denied. Environmental hazard detected. Access denied.
Let's try that again. Whoop. Okay. Hey guys and gals, and welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect 3, here in the middle of the Omega DLC. And yeah, I think that's an apt description. We're about halfway through. We've successfully gotten some allies here on Omega, and now I think it's time to start taking the fight to Cerberus. Although it seems that in our absence, Cerberus has been taking the fight to us. Last time we started recording, we actually had a full hangar area that we had access to behind this blast screen of some sort. That's gone now. It seems that Cerberus has been attacking us with some sort of contaminant. Yeah, I don't even want to know what's been happening, but on the other hand, it kind of speaks volumes for Aria's troops that she selected here, that they've managed to hold out this long and against unknown forces behind this barrier, while we were away, while Aria and myself, who are really the heavy hitters, I mean, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but we're definitely the Hulks, the Tony Starks, we're the Avengers of this group. I couldn't think of a better analogy. I'm sorry. All right. Before I start going crazy, I'm gonna check with you, nameless Asari woman, who you really need a name, considering we know your partner's name. And since there's nothing, we're gonna check in with Aria and see what our plan of attack is gonna be.
Talk to me, Az.
I've located the source that's powering the Cerberus force fields.
Yes, I see. Shepard, take a look at this. The General is siphoning power from one of my main reactors deep in the bowels of Omega's mines.
Unfortunately, access is cut off by the force fields themselves.
Not completely. There's an open route through that dark area, then up.
The processing plant for one of the mines. It's been powered down. No force fields blocking it.
We infiltrate there, find our way through the mine, then take that elevator to the reactor's back door.
Good eyes, Shepard. Let's go.
Not without me.
Aria, my patrol caught her in the perimeter.
Please. You didn't catch me. We're allies now. Didn't Aria tell you?
Nyreen was expected, Bray. Return to your station.
The Talons are ready, but if I'm sending my people into the breach, I want to make sure those force fields come down for good. So like it or not, you're stuck with me.
It's almost as if you don't trust me.
It's exactly as if I don't trust you.
Guys, we're kind of fighting towards the same objective here. I don't understand why you don't trust each other. Like, we're going to do half measures and not properly take down that generator and cost us Omega? Seriously, Nyreen? Seriously, Aria? But, yeah, you can trust me.
We're going to war together. I'll make sure we can rely on each other.
Agreed, Commander. Glad one of you isn't on a power trip.
Go wait by the med bay, Nyreen. We'll join you shortly. Shepard, I have last-minute orders to dole out. I'll meet you there, too.
You know, I really wouldn't say that Aria's on a power trip, if I'm honest, because really, Aria's used to this. Okay, maybe not this exact situation. That's taking things a bit out of context. Aria is used to being Queen of Omega. She's used to kind of kicking it back and just having reign over her citizens, but I wouldn't call this a power trip, because, again, she's used to this. Power trips I associate with people who have just come into a heavy amount of power when they were previously not used to power at all and start abusing that. I really don't think Aria's abusing it at all. Then again, I think at the same time, Nyreen may have just wanted to hurt Aria's feelings for some unknown reason, which I hope we get backstory on.
I can almost taste it, Shepard. Once we stop the leaching of the reactor, my path to the General will be clear.
Well, aside from the thousands of troops standing between him and us?
Details. We don't have time to waste. Is there something you want to talk about?
Yes, but it's not here. I wanted to learn about Nyrene's backstory. Then again, I guess Nyrene would be the person to ask about that, but I do want to know about this relationship between her and her. Arya and Nyrene, but let's go with Nyrene's commitment, because that's the closest we've got.
Do you think Nyrene's over whatever happened between you?
It was a long time ago. But Nyrene's the type that doesn't forget. I run roughshod over most people, and if the tracks I leave aren't deadly, they're at least permanent. As different as we are, I don't wish her ill. So long as she doesn't get in my way.
Interesting. Of course Shepard's not gonna pry into this, but me, I really want to pry. I'm not the sort of person to pry either, but I just wish there was more information, please.
Is your hatred for the General getting the best of you?
I'd say it's bringing out the best in me. The man has turned Omega into a prison and a launch pad for Cerberus campaigns. You should hate him too. I, for one, can't wait to finally get my hands on him.
Arya definitely seems like, okay, I'm kind of going into D&D, but she seems like the kind of person who would be classified as a barbarian or a berserker, because she just uses her rage to her advantage, and with all credit to her, if she really makes it work.
What happens when we bring the force fields down?
The people revolt, chaos ensues, and we lead the Talons and my forces on a wanton path right through the General's command center and afterlife.
A bloodbath.
It's true. When the force fields come down, all hell breaks loose. But as far as I'm concerned, all the blood's on Petrovsky's hands.
A chaotic neutral. Yeah, I think chaotic neutral barbarian / berserker, because I'm not sure she's really doing this for the general good. She has a strict moral code, and she's trying to stick by that, or she does stick by that. But she doesn't care who gets in her way either. She's a really complex person.
I won't bother you with more questions.
All right, when you're ready, I'll meet you and Nyrene at the exit by the med bay.
And now we're actually going to go bother Nyrene with questions, because I'm hoping she can shed a little bit of light on their past between each other. Arya did a little bit, but it was kind of it was a small glimpse that really just raised more questions for me.
I know time is short, but I was hoping we could talk. Alone.
Arya will be joining us soon. Now may be our only chance.
I'm not trying to undermine Arya. I know she has to be ruthless. Let her have revenge. I'm not doing this for me, and I'm not doing it for Arya or what we once had.
It's for the people of Omega. I get it.
Someone has to be their voice in all this. Incredibly powerful forces are about to do battle, with them caught in the middle. I just hope, as we bring down those force fields and go to war, that you can keep the people in mind.
You do realize who you're talking to here. I feel like Shepard would have a reputation even on Omega, especially considering a lot of Mass Effect 2 was situated on Omega, where we had to start off for the most part gathering intel, gathering people on Omega, and she would have been around at about that point, I think. I mean, this is all kind of speculation on when she would have been around and Shepard at the same time, but I feel like she would have at least heard of Shepard's activities. Arya, this is what we came here for.
How did you get mixed up with Arya?
I was happy in the Turian military, but when my biotic abilities started to manifest, my superiors saw fit to reallocate me. They practically locked me away. I couldn't use my skills to benefit my people, so I quit. I floated around the galaxy, looking for a new purpose.
And you found your way here?
More like I lost my way here. But then there was this beautiful, fierce creature who didn't let anyone define her. I'll admit, I was mesmerized. I wanted a little bit of that to rub off on me.
You seem like your own person to me.
For all the drama between us, I'm grateful to Arya. She helped me remember who I am. It took a lot to break away from her, but I regret nothing.
Okay, now I'm just even more curious about what specifically happened between you two. Because Arya gives the impression that she definitely wronged Nyreen. I hope you guys are picking up on that too, and it's not just me being crazy. But Nyreen doesn't seem resentful at all, so I don't understand this current tension between the two. Both of them realize that there was something wrong in the past, but they definitely don't seem to hold a grudge with each other. But they're always butting heads. I feel like these two need to be locked in a room by Shepard, who just says, talk it out, and locks the door. And granted, both of these characters seem very stubborn, so we might be waiting quite a while before they work out their differences. We're gonna talk about the Adjutants, ladies and gents.
You're a veteran. Why are you so disturbed by these Adjutants?
I know fighting Reapers is old hat to you, Commander. But these... what they do to people? They could still be out there. And if they return, I don't want to even think about what would happen to Omega's people. The image of that drives me... and haunts me.
Vague, ominous, and yet still slightly creepy. Very, very well done. It's a shame you couldn't just, be a little bit more direct.
Are your people ready for the fight?
You needn't worry about the Talons, Shepard. They were thieves and scoundrels once, but they serve with integrity now. We're fighting for a better world. I have to wonder if the same can be said for our Asari friend. I suppose we'll know soon enough.
Well, yeah, that's a hard one to answer, actually. She's fighting for a better world than what Cerberus offers. I mean, Omega wasn't ideal before, but it was still freedom. People they could choose to do whatever they wanted to do. There was just that one rule: don't mess with Arya. Granted, the rule actually used fewer words, much more select words, but still, the point was there. Just don't mess with Arya, and you're free to do whatever you want to do. And really, as long as that whatever you did, even indirectly, didn't affect Arya, then you would be okay. And in a way, I guess Arya believes that is much, much, much better than being under the rule of Petrovsky.
What's your impression of Petrovsky?
An adversary worthy of respect. And not just because he's shrewd. When I was starting to organize the Talons, he offered amnesty to anyone who set down their weapon. A few of my people surrendered, and he made good on his word.
So he has a code.
And, as near as I can tell, it doesn't exactly match the elusive man's.
And yet he's still keeping a lot of people who live here on Omega as prisoners. He's not letting them go, as far as I can tell, but he offered the others amnesty. And that's a curious decision. Did he let them go away from Omega? Possibly because they were a threat, but why keep the civilians, I wonder?
What do you know about the Cerberus force fields?
The technology comes from beyond the Omega-4 relay. Flesh disintegrates upon contact. The power required must be enormous. I fear that disrupting it could destabilize other systems on the station. I hope we'll proceed with care and certainty.
That's really curious that the technology came from
I
the
appreciate
beyond
it,
the
Irene.
Omega-4 relay.
We're heading out soon.
Especially considering we've
I'll be ready.
been beyond the Omega-4 relay, and we didn't come across anything like that, where barriers would essentially disintegrate the entire body. Ooh, I'm gonna check that out. Where barriers would disintegrate the entire body upon contact, like even just touching it, like we saw with that, what was he? The Vorcha guy in one of the last episodes. Okay, so Codex Secondary. Would it be secondary? I mean, it would be under Turians, wouldn't it?
Roughly 1,200
No!
years ago...
That's not what I wanted. Aha! There we go. Turian Cabals. The Cabals are an elite biotic Turian unit whose dictum is the intangible is unstoppable. As Turian biotics are relatively rare, with biotic abilities manifesting in only a small percentage of Element Zero exposed Turians, Cabals tend to be small and only comprise of 10 to 15 individuals led by a commanding officer called a Cabalim. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but then again, I don't know who's going to be able to inform me appropriately. A Turian Cabal is often deployed covertly as shock troops or saboteurs, or they're sent on long reconnaissance missions for the hierarchy. In addition to advanced biotic training, all Cabal soldiers are highly skilled in small arms, explosives, infiltration tactics, and piloting. Centuries ago, during the Unification Wars, military Black Ops would recruit Turian biotics as infiltrators, planting them anonymously in the regular infantry as observers or using them as assassins. The historical practice has left a cultural bias against biotic soldiers among the Turian rank and file. As a result, the Turian hierarchy prefers to keep its Cabal isolated from other branches of the military, citing safety and unit cohesion concerns. Even Turians whose biotic abilities are not combat proficient and segregated into Cabals, often forcing them to cut short their promising careers in order to serve as a medic or maintenance officer. Interesting. However, Cabal soldiers are professionals. Those who do not adapt are quickly weeded out, resulting in strongly unified teams of experienced, deadly, biotic warriors who see their isolation as a necessary sacrifice to protect the hierarchy. The war with the Reapers means that the Turian hierarchy no longer has the luxury of keeping such powerful assets in reserve. Many Cabals have been recalled to Palaven, while the most experienced have been dispatched to the front lines for surgical strikes on Reaper strongholds or to provide support for regular infantry. Incidentally, you will come across Cabals in the multiplayer for Mass Effect 3, and you can play a Turian Cabal, actually, and they're not particularly my favorite character to play. I have one unlocked. I still prefer to play a Drell Assassin. It just seems a little bit more fun. It seems to match my playstyle more, not to say that they aren't fun for other people. But that's interesting. I'm particularly curious as to why Nyreen was kind of shoved away into a corner. She said she said that she couldn't serve her people. Like, she was stopped from being a soldier. She couldn't even be a medic. I'm really curious about what that's supposed to mean. Alright, I am really excited to be able to actually give Nyreen some proper weapons. Then again, she's been pretty effective. I'll give her that with the weapon she started out with, but we're gonna give her something better, a lot better actually. Now, if I can remember, I always go with piercing mod. I say always. I think I almost always go for a piercing mod because there are so many enemies we come across who have armor that it makes sense to equip it. And finally, increased damage, I think, is another one that I'd like to go for. Then again, let's be honest, she's not going to be using her assault rifle for the most part. She's going to be using the pistol that we get her, which is yet again going to have armor piercing, just like ours. And just like ours, it's also going to have the power magnifier, level 3. She's a mixture of biotic and tech, so I'm not sure how well this is going to affect her, because her abilities, the ones that we're going to use most, are going to be Overload, as well as her Inferno, her Inferno one, the one that's good against armor, basically. We have a few points that we can put into pull, not that I ever use it, and finally we have points that we can put into Arya. We have 1 point that we can put into Arya for her Lash ability. I don't think we have... No. We can't do anything for you, Nyreen. I'm sorry. Maybe on the next level up, if you get 2 more points, we can put it into Lift Grenade, which I'd actually be really happy with.
We're arriving at one of the ESO processing plants. It's been powered down, so we'll have to pry open the door.
I'll get it.
Access to the mine should be on the far side.
And the reactors beyond that?
According to the schematics. I ran Omega, Nyreen. I didn't work the mines myself.
No. You had indentured servants for that. Spirits.
Relax. They're all Cerberus.
They've been ripped to shreds.
I don't like this.
Oh boy. So, there's something that we haven't talked about yet, guys. The concerns that I had earlier, where we wonder why all of these dark zones exist. Yes, it was kind of briefly brought up that all of these areas have been powered down and locked out because, well, it saves on power. That was Arya's theory, but at the same time, clearly that's not it. considering all of these dead bodies over here. I think we're gonna have to be a little bit careful, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, everything's dark, so something can jump out at us at any given moment. There are a lot of dead bodies in here, jeez. And if I remember correctly, I think no, there aren't any weapon mods in this
More
particular...
dead.
It's a bloodbath. I got a bad feeling. We shouldn't be...
Quiet. What's that sound?
An adjutant.
What? Nope.
No. The general must have locked this place down to keep us inside.
Run away! Run away!